Hello and welcome back to your favorite reaction channel. My name is Jarek.
I'm Nick.
I'm Curtis.
I'm Zach.
I'm Pete.
I'm Julio.
Sorry, I feel like you should say it again.
I'm Pete again.
There we go. Yeah, y'all see the thumbnail. Y'all know why we here. But first of all, shout out to a very special redeemer. This is a request from them.
V-Mir.
V-Mir. We want to know if you from the trenches.
V-Mir, let us know where you from.
V-Mir.
Very interested.
Yeah, just because the name V-Mir sounds like you can either be a very threatening person
or a kind loving soul.
or like the cutest person in the universe.
What if someone's like, no, it's V-Mir. It is V-Mir.
I am a villain. But we are here to see Kingdom. Long live the King MV. Kingdom usually has that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Always cinematic as hell.
So they be dropping movies for real. So we about to get into this reaction. Make sure if you want us to really listen to your very special request that you join the Patreon. We drop over 100 videos a month on there. We got mad exclusives, guides, a whole bunch of stuff.
Exclusive.
Nobody is doing this content like us. Hashtag we some goats. Hashtag we did it. Hashtag we been doing this for like 2 years. Hashtag we just reached 33K subscribers. Hashtag we paved the way. Hashtag long live the kings.
Long live this intro.
Hashtag let's get into it.
King Louis.
That's fire. Always got the drip to it.
Oh no, if it's King Louis, I would assume it would look like French. You know.
Renaissance kind of.
I protect my kingdom.
Subs.
Damn. He just speaking English.
I love that kind of OST feel. Blood sacrifice.
외롭게 멈춰진 시간 속에 이 혼란은 언제쯤 끝이 날까? I'm on the eye of the storm. 벼랑 끝에 위태롭게 버티고 있는 내 모습을 봐. 짙어진 어두움 속 유일한 빛이 날 태우는 것. Lights out 빨간 빛 조명 아래 alone and dancing in my own. 날 비추는 spotlight.
Oh no, that production a little.
원이란 시간에서 그 안에 난 갇혀있어 하루 차오는 기억들로
Alright, vocals.
어스러이 떠오른다 더 위험하게 부서진데도 구간이 맺지 않는 날 지키는 것도 다른 날 저 태양빛이 다시 떠오르기 전 숨죽여 기다린 순간 모든 게 변해도 이곳에서
Fuck with that line.
Got old drip.
Oh, love that. What did you say, MC? That's the MC right there?
Yeah.
세상을 거슬러버리는 영혼에 결국 주어지지 않는 피날레 운명에서 용돌이고 외로움만이 안기는 밤 더 지독하게 몰아치대도 영원히 지지 않는 날 비추는 것도 다른 날저 태양빛이 다시 떠오르기 전 숨죽여 기다린 순간 모든 게 변해도 이곳에서 승리의 깃발을 올려라 아름다웠던 것들은 향기를 잃어가
Violin.
Violin is crazy.
Right, that was a hot one.
Dive into the fire.
was so cinematic.
His eyes changed too.
The whole mannequin challenge aspect of it.
Mannequin challenge.
That's so background vocals
Falsetto.
choreo in this was crazy too.
No more.
Post credit.
Be a werewolf.
Let's let you know what that next joint gonna be about.
That was so cool.
It's gonna be about the Joseon
Yeah,
dynasty.
see the next part of that.
I love the traditional aspect of that too, as far as the instrumentation at the end.
Yeah, I'm glad Long Live the King was hot. Because if it was bad, it would have been off with his hat.
No, that was.
That was funny. Nah, it was also Pete doing the gladiator joint. Where
It was like, it's like, nah.
That was good.
Nah, nothing less from this group. Everything gonna be cinematic from the looks of things. Jeez. But my biggest takeaway from like listening to everything else, this felt like the most song of all of their stuff so far. You know what I mean? Like song that they've done so far. Everything else felt not like not of song, but felt more so like you needed to see a performance attached with what was going on, or that it was built for an OST, like kind of just directly. But this felt like something where it could stand on its legs a little bit by itself if you didn't watch the MV. But with that being said, the MV was decent. I love the masquerade vibes that you had going on here. Once I seen the whole King Louis thing and the Long Live the King, I definitely thought it was going to be of like that French Renaissance like type era, and you was going to get like those Interview with the Vampire lays.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
But I think it's decent. Anytime you get like kind of the French like architectural stuff and kind of like the designs and everything, those blouses with like the fluffy like, you know, shirts underneath and everything like that. I don't know. It just put you in that timepiece, and I think they executed that very well. And I think I said that on the last video with them. Shit don't like, it looks like they always take whatever style that they have and I'm not gonna say adjust it to feel like modern fits.
To make it their own.
Yeah, like the fits feel like you in that time period, but they feel dapper enough to still feel like somebody can get that fit off right now and shit somehow if you're somewhere like Fashion Week or somewhere.
Yeah, if you're bold like that, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I fuck with this though. This is a download for me.
Yeah, I was definitely. I like the whole point where it came out like your blood was gonna be taken. It felt like like you said, Interview with a Vampire or whatever the movie. Those vibes for the whole thing. It was dark but very visual, man. Very visual.
Definitely like this. Definitely like the production behind this. The rap line fire, choreography super fire. This kind of was like, I want to re-listen to this and read the lyrics, just because you get lost in the video, the choreography, the production, the vibe of the whole video. Like they're at a party, and that's just what the tempo gave. The beat was just like not too party, but just like a chill setting with a lot of people, a kickback. So it was definitely a super vibe. I wonder if this is like a continuation from like another video. 'Cause you know how like the end credits are sometimes the next videos. I wonder if like a previous video showed us this, like this video or something. But I like this and all.
Probably, because the production was God tier. I like how it wasn't jarring. It like smoothly went into all of its transitions. And Pete and Julio, a little bit more about the group Kingdom. Essentially, every member is like a king from like a time period.
Okay.
So like obviously this joint is for King Louis, like during the France era. What are they have King Arthur. Arthur is one of them. and a couple other people too and shit. This is with no Google, y'all. Say them all. Hey, nah. But yeah, like basically each person is a representation of like a great king during their time. And from what we've been gathering, most of the albums have been centered around each person in that time period.
This
This
is actually History of Kingdom Part 5, Louis.
Okay.
This is the second track right after the intro Requiem.
You said Requiem of a Dream, or say no?
I wonder
That's
what
a real
happens
thing,
next,
legit.
man. The ending, I don't know. It's bringing me to something.
And they
else.
dropped the instrumental on this
Rap
album.
over this shit?
Right. Probably could.
You know they. What's the other members and shit?
Members of Kingdom.
Some be like, did it for you already? All done.
Right.
He came out with the velvet suit off the rap.
The Velvet Joint was clean.
That's
It
what I'm
looked
saying.
like he stepped out the Bentley too.
It had some drip.
The Kingdom budget. They still spending money from the first EP. Money might be right.
If you
Though.
wearing that fluffy shirt, you got some chicken.
Arthur.
You guys are vampires, and I guess this thing has a vampire twist because you have the blood, and also within the lyrics, he was talking about that. He was like, even if I change or something, I'm still going to be, you know, it's like they're kind of frozen in time, kind of thing. You know, they,
Timeless.
either that or like they're trying to be stuck in that era. You know, because it was gambling, they were, you know.
They did freeze and we're
That's
literally
scary
stuck in
right there,
time.
Freaking statue opening his eyes.
Yeah. The choreo's fucking crazy too. The people standing on top of each other and shit, jumping off shit. Like
It reminds me of the old school Backstreet Boys, John, man, when they did basically the same thing with the fits.
people be like,
That's great, and the setting reminds me of Romeo and Juliet. You remember the 1997 John?
pull out the sword.
The Leo,
With Bob Marley.
Yeah, it definitely has that feel, yeah.
Pull out your weapon.
which ironically is another thing of bringing kind of some of the past to a modern setting at that time.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
You know, the Benjamin Franklin fits. You know what this also reminds me of? What was that show on PBS Kids? I know the show where them kids was hanging out with Benjamin Franklin.
You talk the school bus, John?
Animated or live?
It was animated.
It was animated,
I think
right?
it was like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The Magic School?
no.
No, he's talking about. I know what show you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
Y'all
Like
way
kids were
younger than
hanging out with fucking.
Y'all way younger than me. I don't know what show y'all talking about.
Everybody.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
That must
It's been on since like 1993 or
PBS?
some shit.
PBS?
Zach,
This shit probably just called My Friend Ben.
no, it's
I really want that.
Liberty Kids.
Yeah! Hell yeah! Who, you remember that, bro?
I see it from the picture.
He said Liberty Kids. I was like, oh, that rings a bell. And I was like,
That rings a
Just
bell.
went with it, yeah.
I swear on my life.
He's here till next Tuesday.
Liberty Kids.
You're from Philly. That's so much
Franklin.
funnier.
I know exactly what you was talking about.
I could go back in time. I just don't want to. Why the fuck would I just want to follow Ben Franklin around? Any nigga in history.
I mean, he the only one.
on deck.
Probably one of the most interesting dudes in history.
Because you think about it, he not a president and he on $100 bill. Like,
So what you really do, bro?
A lot.
Exactly.
I mean, slaves, yeah.
Renaissance rock star.
I'm not following around on nigga that had slaves. Who didn't?
Touche.
I was about to say, I mean,
What else you can say to that?
yeah, they got
You got
the
a point
Liberty
there.
Kids fits
Part
on.
of so many different secret societies, you'll have like a lot of.
He probably still
They
alive.
would have.
they froze him.
He probably on the
Walt
panel.
Disney.
Oh man,
He on the panel right now.
You're not gonna put it past them.
Benjamin Franklin been reacting.
He had all them inspections back in the day, first before. So
Oh
never
man,
know.
didn't he tie a key to a kite?
Think of how dumb that shit is now. Like that shit, like, oh, this shit true. Like, damn, this shit crazy.
Electricity.
Imagine niggas down the street like Franklin again. Like, shut up, Franklin. Turn that shit off, Franklin.
Yo, Benjamin, you
You said,
doing
yo, Ben,
too
that
much.
shit doing too much.
It's 2 a.m.
I said, here, it's been a fortnight since you've been doing this shit.
Bro, you got my horses going crazy.
I wake up early.
Yo, he got shocked. He was like, "This shit gonna hit in the newspaper in the morning." I'm like, when they found out. It took niggas like a week in circulation to find out what happened.
Next door.
Going straight to Independence Hall.
Straight to Independence Hall.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I walk through Old City, I'll be like, "Yo, Benjamin Franklin was right here." Yo.
Oh, I do the same shit.
That's crazy.
Oh man,
You think Benjamin Franklin would have liked K-pop?
he probably like
He with the shits. Benjamin Franklin is with the shits. So yeah,
Ambassador, bro. He was everywhere.
He probably like, "Oh, I can write some shit for this too."
he was with it.
People across the world probably know Ben Franklin. I'm like, Ben Franklin, yeah. I know who that is.
Somebody in the comments like, "What's somebody in the comments like? I don't know who y'all talking about.
You have the key in the kite,
I have
right?
no idea who y'all talking about."
Let us know if you don't know who Benjamin Franklin is.
Yo,
Everybody know where he from.
This was I didn't even know Bulls from Philly.
That's who's on the $100 bill.
Oh,
That's who's on this.
The bridge.
the bridge.
Benji.
Why is the bridge named after him? That's the real question.
Because
He's that bull.
He going
He
be going in.
He was, you know, he kept it 100.
Wow. He kept it 100. That was good. Wow.
Here all night.
Wow.
Oh man.
It's a top 7 bid.
Wow.
If there was anybody you could time travel to hang with, who would it be?
Ben Franklin.
Realistically,
You're a real living kid.
I would question every black person. Why would you want to go back in time?
why would you want to go back in time?
I'm good.
You sound like the nigga from Men in Black, where he was like, "Man, be careful. It wasn't a good era for your people."
That's a fucking good question.
Oh my god, man.
Nobody wants to.
That shit, wow, yeah.
Imagine time travel.
There's certain eras where you know not to go back too far.
You get stuck in a sundown town. Your time machine don't. That's a horror movie. I just wrote a movie. You go travel back in time. You hit the wrong year. You get stuck in a sundown town, and your time machine don't work.
Which one? Umbrella Academy, when that one chick went back in time and she was
They stole my idea, man.
Someone got a movie like that too, kind of where when they went through like kind of a portal and then went back to their ancestors' time and shit, and they keep jumping back and forth and everything.
How would you do that?
But
Sounds like my
Hot
friend
tub
Martin
machine,
Luther King.
I'm surprised no one mentioned that when you brought up that Ben Franklin shit. It's like my friend Martin Luther King.
but as far as
Some
this
days you don't want
video,
to go back on.
as far as this video goes, visuals was dope, choreo was dope, production was there. You know, the songs that hit. My favorite part was the rap line. The song isn't my cup of tea. It was hot, but not what I expected from Kingdom, to be honest.
You like the theatrics?
Yeah, I like the dramatics and shit.
They said this.
I
was
don't know,
for
like if I wanted a song,
they said this for the summer.
is it?
I hope so.
Nobody listening to this in the
I don't feel
summertime.
summer.
Yo, jump in the comments and let us know if like this is what was blasting out the
Are
way.
you barbecuing to this?
This is not summery for me.
It depends what's on the grill.
It depends on what
When does drop? They probably dropped this in the winter time, probably.
Oh,
6 months ago. Yep, winter time.
That explains why they don't got a tan. That's why they are not tan.
A poker chip.
Maybe they knew the song was hot. It was gonna hold over to the summer.
I'm not gonna lie, I will cook you on poker.
You got no chance.
Oh, it's some professional players up here, I think, right?
So I am a professional player.
I pointed at you too.
Yeah.
My fault.
I haven't played in a while
Spades is more
though.
my thing.
You got to link up with this guy.
We gotta get some games
for
going
sure.
on.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
Lost my wife and kids
Real
because of
games
it.
we could play here.
That's like no niggas been through this shit.
Matter of fact, I just hit a Royal Flush for 4,500 2 days ago. Yeah.
You live nice. You live it
Yes,
nice.
sir. I'm living right now. Hype.
Speaking of royal flushes, this is amazing. Yeah, royalty, king.
Long live the
Yeah,
king.
long live the king.
How that,
That's what you said when
came
we
together.
I can't play poker. I'm like, run that shit back. They like, it is what it is. This
Nah,
nigga cheated.
poker is fun, man. Poker.
So you got to sleep in your car because you sold everything.
So the car getting towed.
Yeah, no. You gotta know your limits.
That's a fact.
Gotta know your
Signed
limits.
over the deed in the
God.
house.
It's very easy to lose a lot of money.
They were looking for me. The loan shark boys are looking for
You gotta know when it's not your night, it's not your night.
For real.
He's like, come on, man, just take this watch, man.
So yeah. Take my wallet.
Just take my wallet. Just take my girl.
Where's my car keys?
Oh my god. See, I thought this was really great. It's you can't ever ignore kind of the cinematic aspect that they have. You know, definitely in the wardrobe and the styling, and certainly in the production design and everything too. And just kind of knowing that they do jump through so many different eras throughout what they're trying to portray. I really think it's a testament to whoever's kind of part of their team behind the scenes that kind of helps bring all this to life too. So I think all that really is impressive in and of itself. It really helps you to get immersed in everything. I love the classical feel in the production as well. Certainly like the hues of kind of the violin that are in there. I like how it's used early and then kind of how it bookends it later at the end as well. And then of course whenever they give you those kind of post-credit type scenes and everything, and it really does make me curious too, as Zach was saying, I believe, is you do kind of wonder a little bit the order of these. Like is it like linear as far as like going through a little bit of the time.
Oh, like chronologically,
like from
and
each
shit?
king and everything. Because I'm just saying, because that makes me so curious in the story they're trying to tell, like collectively throughout everything that they're tying together. But I really think it's such an interesting concept, and they bring so much to it as well. I would say the rap line in particular towards the middle section was the most kinetic feel for me. Like I love how it was picking up, and certainly whenever you kind of build the tempo of going from rapper to rapper, and then you feel the drums pick up a little bit too. Like I love the energy that brings, and then kind of when you put the proverbial like cherry on top with like the vocal runs towards the end and everything. So I thought all that was incredible, and I love the passion behind it. So I really like everything I'm seeing from the group and everything. And just the concepts are really just so rich that you can't help, again, but feel so immersed in it. I think the choreo is really impressive too. When they talk about, in the beginning of the whole aspect of being caught in the eye of the storm, and that's when you see one in the background, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, being kind of hoisted up and everything. So I think that was an interesting kind of choice with that. And then towards the end, when one of the members or one of the kings is trying to kind of seemingly break free of, the knights, I would assume at least. That's kind of when they have the swords like perform the X, and it kind of almost does look a little bit like the guillotine imagery, which is interesting if you consider kind of a little bit of the French, Renaissance era as well. And ironically too, with the bust that they show of the eyes opening on everything. So I thought that was interesting too, nonetheless, even if it was like just purely coincidence. But as far as like the lyrics and the visual kind of metaphors that they put into everything, I think it's really interesting when they go from like when they talk about everything, like essentially everything you're working for to kind of seemingly build this kingdom or this royalty, just how like easily it slips away and how easy it is to kind of get washed away like in the sands of time and everything. And it seems like that's like definitely like a running theme for them about like kind of what you seem to sacrifice in achieving this for it to ultimately be lost. And I think that's interesting conceptually, just knowing that it's kingdom, because even the word kind of kingdom echoes like a bit of like long-lasting like dynasty seeming things, where it's like beyond your lifespan, where it's like a generational thing. So I just think conceptually that's all really interesting. But even the metaphors of kind of like the royal like fruits and everything like that, like everything just being so royal, and you often hear like people being fed grapes and kind of like that imagery in some of the royalty. So I think it was interesting kind of pairing a little bit of that and then having it dissolve to like the rotting away of everything kind of just slipping away.
Got to play with time well too.
Exactly, yeah.
Showing the clocks and then the rotting the fruit.
Exactly. So it's like the fact that they kind of always seem like this race against time, like no matter how much you have or how royal you are, or what your status is, the blood that you have to kind of shed along the way through like these journeys, and especially through like the history itself that they're portraying, which is kind of even more interesting, or doubles down on that, I would say. All the blood that's kind of seemingly shed along the way to kind of achieve those things and kind of weigh in the scales of what was worth it or what wasn't seemingly. It's just really interesting, and it's kind of funny that like kind of no matter what someone's like hierarchy is, even within those kind of things, we all kind of are allotted kind of that fight against time that like no one can kind of go against. So it's a really interesting concept that they seem to carry through so well. But as you were saying, Nick, on a music level, it hits me like equally, I would say. It's just I'm really immersed in the visuals as well. But honestly, everything they've kind of presented has been so incredible. So I really just keep looking forward to seeing more of their journey, and I would love to know like a bit more about them personally behind the scenes. How they either came up with the concept, or kind of how the company or the label or whatever the case may be came up with everything. 'Cause that's a lot of richness to it as well. And just a last note on the choreography is when they did their almost like the leg thing where their legs
like
were
a
kind of
it's like a clock.
yeah, mirroring kind of the clock and everything. So I thought like all that was really interesting too. But now all in all, this really hit for me as well, and I'm just always curious to kind of see where they're gonna go from here and kind of how they're gonna tie everything together. But yeah, I would really like to just know more about them personally as well because I'm really interested in the music and the concept already.
Yeah, I think you're hitting on all cylinders too at the time, just because even Long Live the King is kind of like a play on time as well, as far as like someone being like here forever, cemented in history and everything.
And interesting, just to double down on that as well, is it's often used in like a cheering thing when someone like raises a glass, and usually wine. So it's like I think it's interesting as Pete had pointed out too, the vampire aspect. As far, but they're pairing the wine with the blood seemingly. It's where it's like and even in a religious context where it's like the blood is wine, kind of portrayed in Christianity too. So there's some interesting metaphors within that. But it really seems like whatever they're cheering is essentially the bloodshed. In some regard, or at least there's some kind of symbolic, like tie-in with that. But
a lot of that in French history.
No, honestly, and
it's a lot of that.
It's really interesting, kind of how they're going about this. I really wonder, like, too, just how much like they must have to like read up on all this and then kind of
a history buff and a writer.
Yeah, like I'm sure they probably have to like go to museums or something like that and everything. But it's just all that to say, I just think there's so much attention and care given to the subject matter, and when the music hits on like equal kind of cylinders as well. I mean, you really just can't ask for anything more, honestly.
Yeah, definitely a lot of time aspects. Earlier too in the choreo, I felt like they had these rods that looked like they were being used to kind of direct them in certain ways. Those look like the hands on the clock. Yeah. Felt like they jumped out of a clock when the hands and everything were kind of all in those X forms and everything too, and everything.
That's really
the formations and stuff like that too. So it is a lot of like time-based things. Even when they stopped time and was kind of still moving while everybody else was still.
Mannequin challenge thing. Excuse me. I said masquerade as well.
Yeah, no, you good.
They both kind of
masquerade challenge.
Yeah, right.
Don't start that. I want to see your face. But yeah, nah. I thought this was decent. Anything else on that, Pete? You thought?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. The only last thing I was really going to point out was the Dutch angle when he's looking at the painting of himself. I found really cool composition-wise, because we always talk about this with like filming and everything, power dynamics. I like how when the camera's looking up, it's like portraying a bigger sense of power to the painting. So it's like kind of like demeaning yourself in some way to kind of raise up that painting or that image or that legacy that you kind of want to represent. So I think that's really interesting because they did it in a Dutch angle too, which always shows like the off-kilterness or the negative connotations behind some of that as well. So I thought that was like really cool as well.
Takes you out of this world a little too sometimes.
No, exactly. Yeah. So all that is really cool. Honestly, these videos like really make us like just the film head in me and everything. Just really want to like direct and kind of like love like all these stories that they present. So it's really incredible. Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned it too because when the picture and everything like that happened, I was getting like Dorian Gray vibes, and then ironically supernatural stuff started happening too. With his eyes and everything else and stuff like that too. As soon as I got like the Dorian Gray vibe, so it all worked out. Yeah, you good? Yeah, V Mirror, you put us on a lot of Kingdom shit. Jump in the comments, tell us how y'all felt about this. Loving this group so far. Definitely got to check out some more of their work. We love y'all too, Redeemers. We're gonna holler at y'all.
Take care.
Peace.